Well, since we have enough here, I'm just gonna start. I call this board meeting of Havre Public School District 16 and 8 in order. Will Lorraine please lead us to the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Yep, so I have everyone is present, except for Mr. Johnson, Ms. Otis, and Mr. Ingram. Yeah.
Okay, this matters.
Yeah, Tyler.
Let's say,
24th.
welcome to the September 24th meeting of the Havre School District Board of Trustees. A copy of today's meeting agenda is on the table near the door. At this meeting, the board takes official action on agenda items. Items of information and discussion may also be on the agenda. Comments will be solicited from the audience throughout the meeting. Following the introduction of the agenda item, the board chair will recognize those who wish to speak to the item. If you have comments, please come to the microphone so that the board can hear you. Following input from the public on a given item, the board may ask questions, then public input will cease and board deliberations will begin. The board is bound by district policy, negotiated agreements, and Montana statute. The board recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of involving members of the public in its meetings. The board also recognizes the statutory and constitutional rights of the public to participate in governmental operations. The board would like to remind everyone in attendance to avoid violations of individual rights of privacy when providing comment. The board is not authorized to hear comments on contested cases or other adjudicative proceedings or personal matters. The board has developed policies and procedures to process concerns about programs, curriculum, and learning materials. The public will be given an opportunity to bring to the board general questions and comments immediately following items to the business. The public comment portion of the meeting. The board may not take any action on matters brought to the attention of the board during this period unless a specific notice of that matter is included in a properly noticed agenda. Therefore, in the public comment portion of the meeting, the board will not discuss or take any action, but may refer a matter presented to a future agenda. Thank you for attending our meeting. Thank you for attending our meeting. Do we have any agenda deletions or corrections?
No, this is not, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, agenda item C1, personnel.
I recommend your approval of personnel items as indicated.
Questions or comments? Anyone? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. I would recommend we approve the personnel action as listed. Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Lorraine and seconded by Kelly that we approve the personnel action as presented. Does any member of the audience wish to speak to the motion? Any member of the board wish to speak to the motion? Would you do a roll call vote for us, please, Moses?
Yep. Ms. Kristen, what is your vote?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Lorraine?
Yes.
Mr. Tim?
Yes.
Mr. Tyler, what's your vote? And Ms. Kelly?
Okay, motion passes 5-0. That brings us to the public comment portion of our meeting. This is an opportunity for any member of the audience to bring to the attention of the board questions or relevant comment concerning school district matter not on the agenda. The board may not take any action on matters brought to the attention of the board unless specific notice of that matter is included in a properly noticed agenda. Therefore, in the public comment portion of the meeting, the board will not discuss or take any action, but may refer a matter presented to a future agenda. If you have comments, please come to the microphone so the board can hear you. Is there any persons present wishing to comment at this time? Seeing as there are none, agenda item D1, superintendent evaluation.
So, after following, the evaluation process last year, Tim, as well as a couple of the board members have approached me about maybe looking at some other options for what we currently use for our templates and on how that process looks. So, I did a little, between now and then, it was always kind of a time frame of when's a good time to take a look at this. We had a little time, so I thought this meeting might be a good opportunity. If you look at the top, cover, it has, the 610, which covers the purpose of the superintendent evaluation process, as well as I've attached our current template that we use. And that's usually going to be distributed in a separate meeting, so I'll send that to all of you electronically. And then in the January meeting following that, we'll wrap up that meeting in executive session. We'll go through then my evaluation at that time. Along with, after the top one, I tried to kind of go through and talk to different superintendents kind of around the state to get some different looks for everyone. So if you take a look at the top, once you move past our evaluation, the very next one came to us from Havre School District. So that's a sample of what his board use. So that's kind of the process. And for Lorraine and Kelly, if you weren't here when we kind of were discussing this, they're trying to look at something that might streamline the process, make it a little bit easier process, maybe that's a little more detail without having to go into maybe as long a narrative forms. But the Corvallis option, I thought that wasn't a bad option. There was a lot of opportunity to still use the rubric in terms of scoring, and then we come up with a new score at the end. The second option provided was Harlowtown. So this is pretty quick and easy. There wasn't a whole lot to it, but still had left some open narrative sections for writing if you like. If the idea was to stay away from the narrative as much as possible, then that may not be the best option we have. And then the third option came from Lone Rock School District, which is just outside Stevensville. And that one I thought was pretty good too. That one was fairly simplistic and streamlined. It still did give opportunity for direct comments along with some check boxes. So my thoughts with this one was just to give you all the information, maybe take some time to digest it, and then we can, come back at a later time. We could look at this again and everything out over a special meeting. And we can also just know that if you like certain components out of this, along to mirror with what we currently do, we can come up with a little different product. The big thing then is once we have an approved product, we just make sure that people get that registered as our doc. So, maybe take some time to look through it. If you like certain things, we can kind of mix and match up and put something all together. We had a little time before in January, so.
Well, ours is definitely the short.
Right, yeah, there was, so Tim, I even kind of looked at some out of state ones just to kind of see. I'm telling you what. Like a packet, I was like, oh, that, I don't think that was the feel we're about this, so, no, I decided not to include those. But stick to the more Montana local versions, but anyway, take some time, see what you think, and then just let me know.
Okay. Anybody have any questions or comments on that process? Those of you that aren't here, if you get a chance, stop into Robbins and they have a printed version for you, or I'm sure we could get you.
Yeah, you scan and send it.
It's sent over through email to everybody as well. So just let Brian know what you need and we can get that sent to you. There's nothing else on that one. Let's go to D2, the investment options. Presented by Moses.
Mr. Chair. So as of right now, I just want you guys to know that rates did go down, the Fed's cut rates. For Independence Bank, the only option they have for the money that we want to invest. It's a 3.85% interest rate for 12 months. And we're kind of conservatively looking at investing 1.5. So 1,500,000. And I feel good about investing that amount. We got some big projects coming up, so we're thinking that's a good conservative number. Yeah, yep, yes, sir.
So, hey, when Moses and I, because we've been kind of going, we meet weekly and kind of go through all the different numbers with this. So we were looking at roughly, felt originally that 2 million could be invested. However, with that, as Holly and I and Moses have been discussing and talking about curriculum needs, right?
Yeah.
And you're certainly aware that we have not kind of been able to stay up to speed with what we needed to in terms of curriculum, right? So some of those things did not occur last year. And so Holly's working really diligently to try to bring us back up to where we need to be. So the numbers with that, we've kind of, Holly and I've kind of looked at kind of $300,000 threshold in terms of what we might need to get 3 areas caught back up. So that would bring us back to where we should be in terms of alignment. But so with that, with Moses, I said, maybe versus the 2, we could look at more of that 1.5 to 1.7, just in order to make sure that we can meet the curricular needs as well. Cover what we need to do there.
And then, so just to add on, the other option that I really, that I'm really like leaning towards, just recommending to you guys, is the STIP. That's the short-term investment program. So that one right now, they do, so all their rates are given they do the rates every day. So they'll give you the new rates every day. So it's basically a flowing rate. As of right now, it's 5.1%. There's no limit to what you can do. And just like I said, just a flowing rate, they'll post that rate every day. No penalties to take the money out. We can always take the money whenever we need it. They help us stay in compliance with what we're investing. The only thing that they said is, the only thing that they can't keep track of is what we spend the money on. Which is right, that's gonna be on me. And then, so if we do decide to go with these guys, there's a couple of things that we need to get approved by the board. There's a participation agreement, and then just an authorized user agreement that we just need to take an action on as a board. And then basically, like you said, it's almost like Robinhood. If you guys have that investment app, I don't know if you guys know, are you guys familiar with Robinhood? We can just pick and choose where we want to put the money or how we want to do it with them. So
And when is this 3.85% due or coming due?
that is the rate right now. And we said it, we wanted to put our money right there, y'all are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's from Independence Bank.
And that's a 12-month one.
12 month, yeah.
Yep.
And that one has the penalties and stuff, so we can't just put it out.
So, if we put money in a STIP and we can take it out at any time, would it make sense to put the full $2 million in there, because you could take out the portion you needed for curriculum when you needed it?
Yeah, we could, yeah. We could,
Yeah, it could be an idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no penalty, right?
Yeah, there's no penalties, right?
Right.
And then with the rates, they give you a daily rate, so obviously it might be a little bit more difficult to anticipate what we're gonna earn on that money, because that rate is changing daily.
True.
Yes.
Yep.
I also thought at the last board meeting, I heard just stagger them,
Yeah,
but that would defeat the purpose with the STIP, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's-
and so that's the thing that I was talking to Independence Bank about as well. He said it's kind of harder to do it that way if we stagnate, like if we do a 6-month, 12-month, 3-month, they said it's just gonna be a little tougher to do. And then there's gonna be a lot of paperwork for you guys to do
Right,
as
that's
well.
why I was
So,
thinking this
yeah.
one just seems.
Yeah.
STIP.
yeah, STIP is where I want to go. Up to you guys. I highly recommend it. But again, it's your decision. You guys tell me how much you want to invest. what direction you want to go with. And then they said with this right here too, both, so that there are securities, there's some insurance with that, so if anything happens, the bank goes out, we're gonna get our money back, so I just wanna make sure that we know it is. So, if it goes out, what happens? We lose all our money.
And that's with independence.
Independence instant, so
Instant.
it has a reserve, so anything goes down, like.
That was the one question I was gonna ask.
They'll get you your
The thing, yeah.
they'll get you your 2
Okay.
million or your 1.5.
Okay.
So if. I guess that would be the best option. I guess we'd have to talk about what at one of our meetings. We'd have to discuss if we're going to pull any of that out for curriculum or whatever that would be. But I think that can be invested and then at one of our meetings and that especially.
Yeah, because by that point too, one of the things as Holly and I have been talking through this is. As she goes through that process with the teachers, if she's like committee meetings, she's gonna have a better idea of exactly what we'll need and kind of the thresholds monetarily, so. I think that idea is a solid one, yeah.
It's all, you don't need it like right now, right?
No, we'll
You guys don't
start
have
at the
anything.
beginning of October and for that meeting, I said, please bring a list of what you're already using, how effective is it, that type of thing, and we'll look at data from there and make some determinations on where to go in the future. If it's making great strides and it's newer and they want to continue using it, then there's no reason to purchase new materials. But if they're supplemental ones because we're finding gaps or things like that, that would be a really good thing to do as well. Or some of them haven't been updated for a really long time, so. It might be the year to give them a little more, just to get to where we need to be.
So how soon do we need to make a decision?
So you guys just need to have an action on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
We can do it
what
at
the
the
next board, yeah, we can do it next board meeting. Decide I'll get you guys updated numbers tomorrow. So that's what it's. And we can do the full 2 million.
Does that sound good to every, Kristen and Tyler? Those are you, that we can see.
Does that sound good, Kristen?
Yeah, I think that sounds good. I think that is a good option for us, and I'll make it get a lot more.
Okay, and Tyler something.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll plan for the October meeting.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we'll be done on the, October meeting and then we can make a, decision at that. Any other things that you have for us, Brian?
Just a couple of quick updates. So I put in your seat a list of the homecoming activities. So you got a flyer from Mark that just kind of gives you the breakdown on the next few days of all the events that are happening in case you want to swing by. It's a fun week. So if you get a chance to want to attend any of those events, please do so. We'll be very booked out with all that stuff, but like I said, it's all good stuff. I also sent you my judge on your email, some Native American week events to attend. I was over in the high school doing the honor song, so that was kind of cool. So we have events this afternoon as well as tomorrow morning and afternoon as well. So if you get a chance and swing by, check those out. Katie's been doing a really good job as our new director with that. So it's been fun. And then lastly, I had Molly just right before we came in here kind of pull just a sample enrollment as kids have been coming in. So she subtracted out of the total, the 56 colony as well as 21 pre-K, which gives us a total of 1,752 students. With that total two more are registering this afternoon as well as one tomorrow. So numbers wise, it's been good. We still have had a lot of traffic.
We should do enrollment yesterday.
Yeah, so the big picture, A and B wise, student numbers, it's good. It's good.
and it's not usually people moving here, it's people changing schools, right?
Some,
Oh.
yeah, I think there's also getting some traffic of people moving here too. Yep. Well, anyway, but those are just got like this.
Right, nobody else has any questions, I would entertain the motion to reconvene our next regularly scheduled meeting on October 8th at 6:30 at Havre.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second? Meeting is adjourned.